Hi everybody, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com, and I'm back with another Copic speed coloring video for you. This time my skin tone, we've changed it up just a little bit, and I'm using an E50 to replace the E000. Gives me a slightly yellower and warmer skin tone. It's just something a little bit different every once in a while. I don't like to use the same colors all the time, even though they don't vary extremely. The image I'm using this time is from Saturated Canary, and I do believe it's called Braid. There'll be a link to the image in the description box below. It's a digital stamp. It's printed, as usual, on my Copic Express It blending card using my laser printer. This is E04, and we're going in and putting in our darkest shadows under the chin and under the hairlines and all of that stuff, just giving it some life. You'll see here my marker ends up getting shiny, and you can watch it get shinier. I can see it in the video. And you'll see where I pull off the back end of the marker, it was going to drip. It was just oversaturated. The balance must have been out. I'm not 100% sure why. I haven't filled this marker in a while, so it's not like it was recent. And I've used it lots since it's been refilled this last time. So, I might have cut out where I pulled the top off. Yeah. But anyway, that happened there. This is E11, and we're blending out all of our lighter or darkest shadows, just giving everything a nice transition and all that fun stuff. I'm not sure why this video feels a little slower, probably because it only took me 45 minutes to color this one. I did, as usual, speed it up to 3 times the regular speed. Now we're going to come in with E21. You'll see I put an annotate or a caption at the bottom with E21. There's a few places where I forgot to put the lid down, the cap on the screen for you all, so I just added it at the bottom at the beginning of this section. And just carrying on as blending everything out, giving our skin tone just nice, soft transition between the colors. I like using lots of colors in my skin tone. I just find it makes the shadows feel less harsh and everything looks more rounded and more smooth like a real person does. So this is R21, and then E000 to blend everything out. E04, and we're going in onto our lips, so I add some shading on the bottom lip and then in the middle on the top and the 2 corners. Then R22, and I use that just on the top, but I do leave a spot for our lightest one, which is R20. And we're going to use that to blend out the bottom lip and that light highlight on the top lip. Our hair, I went with the E50 range, so I'm starting out with E50 and I'm just flicking it in. I'm going all the way across the center. There is probably, well, there is some white spaces that get left behind, which I'm fine with. I'm just following the direction of the hair that Krista has given us with the image, so everything kind of curves with the way the artist drawn lines are. You can see I skipped a section there. I was debating on actually putting a color into her hair, kind of like a highlight or yeah, like a streak. And then I decided that I didn't want that. So I get to the bottom and then I go in and fill it in. Not sure what I was looking at there. Here's where I go fill in that piece that I missed. I find when I'm doing braids, it's actually probably one of the easiest hairs to do because all of your concentration comes from where the hair crosses over in the middle and then the outside point where it's all clumped together nice and tight. So it's really easy to do and there's not a lot of thinking to it in terms of like curves with curls or long straight streaks or making sure everything's kind of consistent. So it's really nice to do these images. They're super quick. E51, and we just bring it in part way. Everything's slowly starting to get darker and you'll see some life coming into the hair. I used 4 colors in this hair combination, so. Sorry about being slightly off screen. I'm still getting used to this filming thing a lot. I think I have kind of the angle of the camera case now. Instead of pointing straight down, I do it at just a slight angle so that I don't have to worry about my hand being in the way or trying to hold the marker too much sideways that my strokes are too fat and then I don't like them. And yes, I'm picky. I'm picky. I color lots and you'd be surprised how much of it I chuck in the bin. So again, coming through that braid, nice and simple. You can see how fast you can kind of go through it and where you pull from. They're all just different sections instead of having those long pieces. Then E53, and this is where you'll start to see a lot of the color come in to the hair. So, and I just go through and I pull some pieces longer and some pieces shorter, but I'm definitely consciously not going as far as I do with the previous color every time we come in with a new one. Alright, crisis averted, helped out the child. It's now 3 hours since I started this narration, so if I repeat myself on anything, I'm very, very sorry. So we're just going through still with the E53 here, and again, like I probably said, I pull them out a little bit shorter and consciously don't go all the way to the center as I layer in the darker colors just to give a nice highlight and roundness and fullness to the hair. Not sure if I mentioned it earlier or not, but the coloring time on this was roughly 45 minutes, which is actually fairly fast. I can spend upwards of 2 to 3 hours coloring an image, so that's why you find in some of the videos I look like I'm coloring a lot faster than I do in others. I try to fit it into roughly a 10 to 15 minute time frame. I'm not sure if anybody likes like the real long full-length videos. I do know when I do live Ustream classes and stuff, I always stick those on here. So when you find any that run like 1 to 2 hours, it's because it's just a live coloring that I did on Ustream and I've just directly uploaded it from there. I won't be explaining stuff quite as in detail, and you'll hear me having conversations with people in the chat room. So now we've moved on to the last color for this hair combination. This is the E55. So this one's just bringing in the darkest spots where the hair folds, at the top, like the crown, where all your parts are, in the tight creases and the braids and all of that. And it just kind of finishes off and it really brings it all to life. You can see how nice the bangs look now. So we go through and we'll finish that up, and then that'll be it for the hair. I didn't do any other stuff with pencil crayons or anything. I've been doing a lot where I've been adding with my pencil crayons. I overdid it on the last one, but that's perfectly fine. That's how you learn, right? Actually, that's up on here as well, so you can see that it's not as nice as I had hoped, but I tend to do a little bit usually with either my Polychromos or my Prismacolor pencils. This one I just left it exactly how it is. She's got a very fair skin tone, very light hair. Nice bright shirt, you'll see that right away. So go through and finish up the braid. I'm really happy with the way her hair came out. So, if you hop over to my blog after this, I'll have a link in the description box below. There'll be, the finished card will be up there as well. I didn't record the card making for this. It's just the coloring from start to finish. So now we're on to the G's, or into the jeans, not the G's, the jeans, the blue jeans, Jessie. They're blue jeans. I'm using B's, not G's anyway, so it really didn't make much sense. I used B99, 97, 95, 93, 91, and then I add BG90 over top. And it just kind of gives the jeans that little more rustic, dirty look. I use that all the time. I absolutely adore it. So I'm just kind of trying to give the legs a roundness here. And I'm going to give 2 coats to the pants. So I'll go through it once and then I'm going to start and run through it again. The second coat always seems to go a little faster. So making sure that I leave the belt nice and white so I can add the same color from the t-shirts there. T-shirt onto the belt to bring it all nice and close together. And I just kind of, when I go down to the bottom, like on these images where the legs aren't completely drawn and she's cropped and chopped off like that, I just kind of go to the bottom of the lines and then make it up as I go along. Wherever the pen goes is kind of where it fills together. So they seem to work out nice because it's cropped anyway, so the bottom doesn't have to be perfect. The line doesn't have to be complete. Like you can see how it kind of feathers out and isn't a perfect loop. Like it's not like the artist drawn lines where it's nice and crisp. I just kind of let the colors bleed and do what they want to do down there. So that works out really, really nice. And then this is the second coat, and it just darkens it all up because that BG90 and the B91 really lightens everything. But when you go in with that second coat, it smooths it all out and it darkens it up just enough. For me personally, I mean, it's all personal choice when you're coloring and what you like. So, and there's our blue jeans. So for the shirt, I went with the RVs, nice and bright pink. You'll see one coat, and in the picture you can see the lines aren't blended together very perfect, and I wasn't happy with it. So when I finished the recording and everything and I took the picture, then I edited it and I put it all together. Then I went back and I gave the shirt another coat just to let those pinks blend together a little more and give me a little smoother transition between my darks to my lights. So I'm much happier with it now, but the picture you'll see at the end is how it looks like after I finish coloring it this way. So I didn't fix it and then put another picture in because this is how it looked after I colored it with just the one coat. I'm still happy with it. It's just when I went back and added the second coat, it just finished it off a little smoother for me and I was happier with it. So we're just coloring that in. And I am going to go back. I didn't do the belt when I went through it the first time, but I will go back with the RV25 and the RV23 just for the belt. Those areas are so small, but I wanted a little bit of shading in it. The ponytail on her hair is also the same pink color. So here I am filling in her belt. Then we'll come in and do the eye. And for her eye, I did my favorite green combo that I like to use, which is BG96, YG95, YG13, and YL11. And then I'm going to take, this is my white Signo pen, and I just put that highlight back in, and that's everything. And that's everything. I'd appreciate you commenting, and subscribing. I also put these up on my Patreon channel roughly 3 days before they go live here. There'll be a link below to that if you'd like to check it out.